You're listening to a Rock Candy podcast.
Hey, I'm Andrew.
And I'm John.
Our show, Magnified Pod, is the only podcast that discusses culture, religion, politics, and deep dives into the discographies of the bands that shaped a generation of 90s youth group kids.
We share our thoughts on the Christian bookstore alternate universe scene we grew up in, our changing religious views, and the alternative music that formed us, going through albums track by track.
We've also interviewed band members, producers, filmmakers, and artists, and had fascinating, profound, and silly conversations along the way.
Check out Magnified Pod on the Rock Candy Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey everybody, this is Reese Roper, one of the hosts of this podcast, The Pickle and Boot Shop. Weekly, I do this disclaimer about the episode, and I don't want to let you down, so I'm going to start right into it. First of all, I forgot what episode it was when we were recording. I also demand that people bring us sacks of money. Pretty immediately in the episode, we start talking about crevices or crevasses. I apologize for that. I said hashtag Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. I called a guy named Thane Blaine. Joe and I talk about Wyoming way too much. I say that my Pastor Karen, swears, which I've never heard her do. I also call a U-Haul a Utah, which I know they're based in Utah, but that's not correct. Also, at the end of the episode, you can hear my children murdering each other, and I'm sorry for any mental anguish that causes you. And at the end, we also talk about moist mail, which I'll just leave to your imagination. Thanks, guys.
Joey Reese, Pickle and Boot Shop. Get yourself a pickle. Get yourself a boot. Joey Reese, Pickle and Boot Shop. Pickle time is happening. Pickle time. I go down to get some pickles. With your grandma and your kids. I go downtown. With your grandma and your kids. Boot time. Pickle and boot time. Don't be fickle, get your pickle cider, pop a nickel in your boots. Not a place of ill repute. Bring your grandma and your kids. Come for the pickles, stay for the squids. Stay for the squids. Boots. Put that pickle in your pants. Get some boots inside your hands. Put that pickle in your pants. Get some boots inside your hands. 1996, we start this.
Okay.
Just because.
We only have three new ones since last week. But
Only?
still.
Pff, screw that then. Why are we even doing this?
Come on.
This is
We're the godfathers of Christian ska.
we're the godfathers of Christian ska podcasts.
Yeah.
I mean, how come
actually
people
is
are
true.
driving to our houses and just dropping off sacks of money?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't get it. With that being said, you guys, we want to welcome you guys to the Pickle and Boot Shop Diabolical Brainwashing Machine,
Welcome,
episode
everyone.
6. We're up to 6, man.
Is this 6 or 5 and we miscounted?
No, I think we're on 6.
Jeez.
Yeah, we have a bunch in the can. And so, like, people are hearing this. They don't know, like, we're recording 6, but 2 was just released.
Duh. Winning.
Yeah.
And I love the timing of it too. It's impeccable.
Yeah. Impeccable. I'm back on the soundboard, everybody. It went off for a couple episodes, but I got it back.
It's back. It's back. The viruses, the Russian viruses are off your phone.
They're there still. It's going so slow. So slow, but it's fine. It's worth it.
It is worth it. It's totally worth it. And we are back, episode 6. I still have COVID, but I'm feeling a lot better. I'm doing better. Today's probably the best I've felt overall. And I've been cleared to return to work on Tuesday, where I can then infect other people.
Good idea.
Because isn't that how it works?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it never goes away.
It just stays inside your crevasses, your crevasses.
My crevasses.
If you have any of those.
Yeah. Oh, I have several. And yeah. You remember when COVID first came out, people thought like you could get it through like farts?
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
People still think that. People are still like, I'm not going to wear my mask because I can smell farts.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know how science works, but pun intended.
It's not transmitted through farts.
It's not a farted transmitted disease.
It's not carried via farts. It's via
is
droplet.
anything other than stink carried via farts?
Yeah, I mean, so
pink eye, right? You can get pink eye?
not through farts.
Not through farts.
If somebody pooped in your eye, yes.
Or on your pillow.
Yeah, on your pillow as well. But I'm just speculating. I don't know anyone that has gotten pink eye from that.
So if I held your pillow oh so tight against my anus and farted,
Yep.
it's not the fart that would be giving you pink eye. It would be the moisture emitted from the pore, the anal pore.
Yeah, but first you would have to get somebody's eye with pink eye to touch that. It doesn't go. It usually doesn't go through your GI tract. It's from touching your eyes.
So, wait, I'm confused now. I thought if you got like poop in your eye, you got pink eye.
That is true. You can get the bacteria from that.
So, with what I just said, Reese Roper.
Yeah, well, so then you'd be getting the pink eye from the poop. It's just a bacterial infection of your
So if I put it on your pillow and I had a little residue, then you would get pink eye. all that set up. That's great. That's great.
Last time that was when you mentioned the insiders.
Mm-hmm.
I'd do that. But also, it's for getting direct pink eye from somebody touching your eye with fecal contaminants. Man, I just got my hair cut, and I like it, but then you know what it's like? Can you get hair down your shirt?
Why do you have hair down your shirt? Don't they put the little bib on you?
Yeah, they do, but it's still, you get a little bit, right? And then you're like, wow.
I haven't had a haircut, and I think it's been, I don't know, 15 years maybe since I've had a haircut.
Holy crap. Dude, if
20 years.
How much money have I wasted?
Yeah. Dude, my buddy Dre.
For my vanity.
My buddy Dre gets it like weekly. Like he gets.
Oh my gosh.
He gets tightened up weekly. Is what he does.
I was on a podcast with a dude, and he said that he goes to get haircuts weekly, and I was like, "Geez, oh Pete," I felt very inadequate as a person because I don't make that kind of money, even when I do have a
scratch.
Job. No. But,
and we have one of the top podcasts in the country right now. I don't know if people know this.
Well,
it's roughly
if you use the word podcast, no, but Diabolical Brainwashing Machine.
We have the number one.
Absolutely, number one.
We have the number one Diabolical Brainwashing Machine. When it comes to podcasting, we are towards the bottom of the list, and I don't know how many there are, but we're towards the bottom.
Yeah,
we're trending downward. Right. I think is what like the kids say.
Yeah,
the YouTube, the influencers. I think
the influencers on the TikTok.
We need to get one influencer to tag us.
TikToker is what it is on now. The kids do TikTok.
We need to get a TikToker. We need to get a Kim Kardashian to say the Pickle and Boot Shop and see if we have an influx. See if their influence is actually that or not. Or
Agreed.
I just thought of something. How about we tag them and see if their numbers go up?
Better idea.
That's called reverse sociology.
Reverse sociology.
That's what that's called.
Kim or Kanye, if you're listening, please, look for the boost in your podcast.
Yeah. Oh, that was her on the line. We just had Kylie.
Hello, Kim? I think that's her.
I think that is how widespread her influence is. When her name is mentioned across the internet.
What's her name again?
Kim?
Yeah. Like right there.
She is. It was like the bat signal went up. It's like a big, it's just a big outline of her butt in the air. And then she immediately knows that someone on the internet is talking about her. It's like the Patriot Act.
It is. It's tied into NORAD and all the other computers.
It is. Well, this week on the Pickle and Boot Shop, episode 6, we wanted to take our listeners down the nostalgic love tunnel that is 90s Christian ska. And we're going to talk about touring vehicles today, ladies and gents. So if you decided this morning to start a band and you thought to yourself, what do we need? We need a sitar player. Check.
Got it.
We need an old prospector to play the spoons. Check.
Mm-hmm.
And then you need something to get you from town to town. What? A covered wagon, a van,
Your
tour
phone.
bus, a chartered flight, something. We're going to talk today about that stuff. And so let's kick it off. Let's start with your not even your first band stuff. Tell me about like just at the beginning, like going to gigs like in separate cars. Like did you guys ever do that? Or like did that?
Yes.
Yeah, we did too.
We do it now.
Yeah.
We don't have anything now. We just
now that the luster is worn off. Yep.
yeah.
That's why I can't go back and do it, man. I can't go back and do the Insiders again because I can't show up somewhere in like a Celica and then drive with two other guys, and then two other guys are in, another Camry. And then, I just can't do that anymore.
It's so cool though. People are be like, "Is that my ophthalmologist?" No, it's Joe Yerke.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's just Joe Yerke and a bunch of overgrown dudes packed with amps and instruments in a Celica. And a Tom Celica.
And a Tom Celica. You can tell by the sweet stashes on the drummer.
Yeah, the grill on the car. So tell us about, maybe we don't have to go that far back. Now that I think about it, that ain't really anything. Unless you have a funny, like, personal car story.
No. I'm trying to think. We drove, there was a period before we got a band vehicle. I think we all have this. All bands have this, where you just meet at the show. Andy had like a Ford Fiesta, just a teeny little thing that he'd haul his drums in. And we had a show that I think I talked about it in Orange County. It was like a small festival in 1996. It was maybe May or April of 1996. First time we had heard of the Supertones. Matt Marginski pushed me off the stage. We were told not to stage dive, and I believe Matt Marginski did push me off the stage. But
upon closer review of the camcorder video,
I don't know if
hooded Matt Marginski may have been the catalyst for you leaving the stage.
Yeah, and they cut the power out. I don't want to blame Matt because we talked about this. We got called out. My pastor called me and said, "Look, you got to ease up on the Supertones." And
they have so many people fooled, huh?
Anyway,
So many people
Pastor
fooled.
Karen, I know you're listening.
Karen, if you only knew the years of touring we did with those guys. You know what you did, Karen? I love you, Pastor Karen.
Yeah.
You sat in your car, you sat wherever, and you listened to the Supertones and you rocked to them. You know what we had to do? We had to tour with them.
Mm-hmm.
We had to be with them on their off time when they weren't on, when they weren't the Supertones and they were the Clark Kents.
They were like the mediocre tones when they were not on.
No.
And you were there. None of
Yes.
that luster was
People
there.
don't know any of it. Any of it.
No.
And believe me, I don't know if you've ever read, Karen, I don't know if you've ever read Motley Crue's book. That seems
She
like
has.
a child's poem storybook compared to the debauchery that the Supertones were backstage. But that's another day.
Another
Karen,
day.
Just keep.
Let's just say
Supertones were great. Does that make you feel better,
great.
Karen?
They're fine.
Supertones
band
the best
ever.
band ever, Karen. Pastor
And
Karen.
I don't know what compelled me to fall off that stage, but let's just say the singer of a ska band, Christian ska band, caused me to jump off and stage dive, and they cut the power. That was our second out-of-state show. We played with Mephistopheles at the VFW in Cheyenne, Wyoming. But
Beautiful place.
beautiful VFW. If you've been to them all,
If you've been to the Arby's there in Cheyenne, it's something
Nothing.
else. Staff is
nothing does it.
staff
You
is
get
great
in this
there.
for Arby's sauce right away. They'll just put it in your bag. One,
Yeah.
maybe two of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, get out of town. That's it.
that's what it sounds like.
Yep.
With a, give it to you with a. That's what they do. So we drove out. Andy drove this little festival. We made it as far as Grand Junction. I don't remember what the rest of us were in. I think it was maybe Brad's parents' minivan. We made it that far. And then somehow this car was so small, it didn't get picked up in people's mirrors. Like it was occluded by the things may appear closer than they are little thing. And a semi drove over his car.
Oh my word!
Didn't completely wreck it, but just tore the side up. And the guy didn't even know he hit it. He just went on. So we pulled over at the rest stop, and I think that was probably the end of it. Once we got back from that show, we decided we need a band vehicle, and combined it with the idea that I also needed a vehicle. So I got a 1990 GMC Safari, which my father had hyped way up because he had an Astro. And he would be like, Racer, come on down here and look at this. See how high the wheel clearance is? It's basically a four-wheel drive vehicle. You can go camping in that, whatever you want. And I was like, I'm going to get one of those, Dad. And I believe that's what we had when we came out to Cornerstone and we met our good friends, the Insiders. I'm on it tonight. I am on the soundboard.
I want to say I remember the Safari, but you may have just painted such a wonderful picture in my head that I'm incorporating it into my own memories.
We took the seats out of the back. I was camping in it. We put a tarp up from it so the doors open, tarp, tied it to a tree. Your good friend Kyle said he was going to kick my ass because we tied it to his tree. And that was my first experience with Kyle.
Oh,
and
bless your heart. Bless your heart.
No, but after that, everything was cool. He was cool to me after that. Just that first time, I was like incredulous. Is this your tree? I was not aware of that. This is humorous.
First
he did not
off,
find
I thought
any
this was
humor in it.
Japuza property. Apparently, I was wrong, and you own a tree here on the
You own
property.
a tree here. because you formed it at
In
the
his
beginning
womb.
of time.
In his
In your
womb.
womb.
Jeez. So your first
So we
one
had
was,
that thing.
Yeah, it was the safari. Now I have a question. So the first time we met, that was the weekend that the Supertones kidnapped me with you guys, and we went to Bushnell and went to a movie and then lit off a bunch of fireworks in a parking lot.
Yeah.
Was the safari the van that I was kidnapped into, or was that the
Possibly.
Supertones van?
I remember. I mean, I don't. Also, I don't remember. Kidnapping sounds right because I think I was waterboarded
Okay.
by the
Okay.
Supertons.
Yeah, that's it. That's up there. That's their
But
MO.
it probably was. It was probably we saw Independence Day.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw
One of those
Independence
things,
Day.
Wild West. There
Yeah.
was always a July 4th blockbuster that we'd go to the big city of
Yeah.
Bushnell.
Yeah. And it was
Big
awesome.
Yeah.
Independence Day was, that kicked it all off. And then we did fireworks out in an empty mall parking lot that reminded me of Twin Pines Mall from Back to the Future,
Yeah.
you know, where
Yep.
it all goes down. And so did that safari got you back? And how many was that your means of transportation for the band everywhere you guys went? Cross the country, out of state, all that stuff.
So we did a couple out of state, like little runs with it. That one to Cornerstone, and then we went to California again. I think I cannot remember how many we did with it, but the cool thing was that all 8 of us could sit in it. Somehow you could kind of sleep in it, and we pulled a trailer. But when we went out to play something with 5 Minute Walk where they signed us, it died. Like Frank had a retreat for his bands, and he was like, "I'm going to sign these guys. So hey, guys, want to come to this retreat?" And we were like, "Yeah, school doesn't start for another 2 weeks. We'll do it." And we went up for the weekend to do this retreat. And we were pulling a U-Haul with that thing. And those things are made of like solid vibranium. They are heavy. Let's say adamantium.
Yes.
They are heavy. And it did not like going up to we went on this to Tahoe, to Truckee in California, and it was like all uphill from Sacramento, and just dropped the transmission. So we got it fixed, and then we're like, we need a new tour vehicle. And Frank had this buddy that he had gone to college with named Blaine, and Blaine came from Wyoming. He's a good old boy from Wyoming, and again, Wyoming, if you've ever been there, gas stations are way farther apart than Taco John's or Arby's.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
And so Blaine was like, I can get these guys a cool van. I think we paid $800 for this thing. It was a 1981 Ford Econoline. It was 81. So it was huge. Like a normal, the 15-person van. If you're a tall dude, you can't lay lengthwise in it.
Yes.
This was in 1981. It took up 2 lanes of traffic. You could lay lengthwise in this thing. Everybody, everybody, including the driver, could sleep.
You could wear stilts, top hat, and still lengthwise.
Abraham Lincoln came in.
Yep.
People warned him, like, no.
Hey,
1981 Ford
take your
Econoline.
kids' boots off, Abe. You ain't gonna fit. And he was
Get in
like,
there, Mr. President.
well. He's like, 4 in the time that I lay down. That's my Abe Lincoln.
That is probably the best Abe Lincoln I have heard.
Thank you. Do you want to hear a side story with Wyoming? So we were driving through Wyoming.
Oh.
And we had, I had what in some circles they call the bubble guts. And
Yeah.
we were driving through Wyoming, and I told our driver, who at the time didn't speak English. His name was Trini. He was
What?
he was a Mexican gentleman. I think he lied to somehow get work with us. We put out an
Who
ad.
hired him?
Tim Tabor put out
Okay.
an ad in LA, like, we need a driver, and this guy was like, yeah, I'll do it. And he, like, his name was Trini. You don't remember Trini?
No, man. I remember Reggie.
Oh my gosh. And so, Reggie. Oh my gosh. That's
R.I.P., Reggie.
that's a Supertone story there.
R.I.P.
Oh my gosh, we got to write these down. Or people, listeners, remember the Reggie Supertone story. So anyway, Trini's our driver. We're driving. I get the bubble guts. I tell him, I'm like, hey, you got to pull over at the next exit. I need to, go in and use a bathroom. Okay. I see the next exit. We pass it. And I'm like sweating. I got my head hanging out the window. I'm trying to stay cool.
This is your truck.
Yeah,
We
this
gotta
is
get
when
to
we're in
this.
our like big like tour truck. So we pass another one, and I'm like, I go, Trini, you gotta pull over. You
How
gotta
did you
pull
talk
over.
to people in the truck?
We had a walkie-talkie. So
Okay.
we were in the back, and then he had a walkie-talkie in the front.
Trini.
So we're like, Trini, and he's like, yeah, and we're like, we need to pull over, okay. And then zoom, I see the next exit go by. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, at this point, I'm sweating, my butthole's tingling, like all that. Like, I'm about to lose it. And I see a sign, like, as we pass, I see a sign that says, next rest stop, the last one for over 100 miles. Because we're going to be in national forest.
Because Wyoming.
Because
It
it's
doesn't
Wyoming,
matter.
man. Yeah. So we're driving, and so I'm like, I see that sign, and I'm like, okay, well, this is where he's getting off. I've asked him twice already. We've passed 4 exits. This is the last one for 100 miles. Zoom. Pass it.
Trini.
So we're now past it. We're donezo. We're in national forest. I'm like livid. I'm like, pull over, like screaming at him in the thing. So he pulls over. I grab the emergency toilet paper. I book it out into onto the side of the road, and I book it back into the, like, all I can focus on is like not crapping my pants.
Yeah.
So I run back into the woods. I drop trow. I like lean up against a tree, and I crap in the woods. Clean up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel better. I walk back, and suddenly, as I walk back to like the highway, I realize that there's like a barbed wire fence that looks like something out of like a prisoner of war camp that's
Like those
separated.
concertina wire, like the rounding thing?
Yeah, and it's like separating me from like the tour bus, and I'm thinking I had to go to the bathroom so bad that when I got off, I went through that thing like a ninja. Like, I didn't think anything of it, but now that I'm of sound mind, I'm trying to Mission Impossible my way through this barbed wire. I'm like cutting my shirt. I'm cutting my arms. And I got through it, but my shirt was cut up. I had cuts on me.
Oh my
And-
gosh.
Yeah.
So the first time you just like Steve McQueen jumped your motorcycle over it and didn't realize what you had done.
Didn't even realize. It was like dusk too. So I don't even remember seeing it. I got off the truck and beelined it to the woods. And now all of a sudden I'm walking back and I'm like, did they just put this up? I mean, it was that quick. And suddenly I'm like, oh my
the
gosh.
middle.
Yeah. Just in the middle. Like, I ran as I'm pooping. They put a bunch of posts in and sling the razor wire. Oh,
Yeah.
it was bizarre. So that's a tour poop story, being stuck in Wyoming.
So I don't think that's even on the list, tour pooping stories, but that has to
that'll
come
be-
up.
I'm sure that'll just come up in every episode.
So you guys may think we've given it away, but there's so many stories,
Yeah.
including my favorite Joe story, which is after eating some sort of buffet at Des Moines or Council Bluffs area,
Yeah.
Harrah's, crapping on
Yeah.
the golf course.
Yeah.
Because I just remember you
were
going,
with us.
boom, Rhea. It's magical.
Yeah. Yeah. That was, you guys were with us. We stopped. We all ate.
No, we were not. You told us later. Because we were just like, this is incredible. I think we were still on the same tour. I think you were just retelling the adventure. But we'll save that for that episode.
You've never been to, at the time it was called Harvey's Ultimate Casino.
Uh-huh.
You never went there with us? I thought me and you did like a jumbo shrimp eating contest. And that's where I had lethal amounts of iodine in my system. And that's why I just destroyed it.
Maybe. It does sound familiar.
I swear that was you. I swear.
It probably was. Any sort of eating contest or any challenge to eat, I was down for that.
I swear. I swear that I had, because we had gone there like 2 or 3 times, and I swear you guys were with us once, and you don't remember. I mean,
I was
it's
not
not
there for the
something
diarrhea part.
It's not something you could forget. Harvey's was like the most
And eating a
amazing.
bunch of shrimp, eating as much as I possibly could get in my stomach.
Yeah. Like each one was like, honest to God, each one was like the size of a brat.
Yeah, they came out of the Des Moines sewage system. It was like
They were huge.
some of those guys over there in Council Bluffs.
Yeah. And I ate like 12. And there's like enough iodine. There's like enough iodine in 12 jumbo shrimp prawns that you can't keep your anus closed. It's just a constant tube that exits material.
Yeah, well, and as evidenced by the fact that you are still goiter free.
Yes.
Still, to this day, enough iodine is in your system. Goiters, people come to you to get healing from their goiters.
Dude, I can lick walls at Chernobyl.
Mm-hmm.
And the iodine in my system just eats that radiation up. Ain't nothing.
Perfect.
I go into x-rays. They go to put the vest on me. Nay. I ate at Harvey's giant prawns. And the lady's like, oh, okay.
Is that the place next door to the Des Moines sewage system? Des Moines golf course / sewage system?
Yeah. Should we tell that story now?
It is the same. No.
All right.
We need to keep people coming back.
That's right. You guys don't
Pickle
get
and boot shop.
All right, so
Come
keep
for
going.
the pickles. Stay for the diarrhea stories. My mom listens to this, which is why I've been working so hard not to swear on the 6th episode. I love you, Mom. I'm sorry about my potty mouth.
What's crazy is I see the people who are liking it, and it's like same thing in my life. It's like pastors, like good friends, like good Christian folk that need not hear 80% of this. And then what's funny is the other people are like, dude, you guys tell Reese to not stop swearing. Like you guys better uncensor that and all sorts of stuff. And it's just like, oh my word. That's the crowd. That's the crowd that wants it.
That's the kind of people that are hyping us up. Pastor Karen, by the way, she doesn't care. She's Presbyterian. We just swear all the time.
Exactly. She does it during her sermons.
She does. So
Frank's
we're
buddy
talking about
came
vehicles.
from Wyoming.
Yeah. No, well, and so in Wyoming, Thane, salt of the earth. This guy's so awesome. Anyway, in Wyoming, you have to have 2 gas tanks because otherwise you're not going to survive. You're going to be eaten by wolves. And so we drove this thing, and you had to run it till it was sputtering because you needed to use all that gas. And so 2 gas tanks on this thing got just about as much as far as a regular van went, but at twice the cost. So So if you were the driver, you would wait until you started to feel it, like jerk, and then you flip that switch underneath the dash, and it was like you were freaking Knight Rider. Just all of a sudden, and then you're going.
Yeah, it was the Millennium Falcon going to warp speed.
Yeah, and if anybody could run that thing out of gas, it was me. I did. In the salt flats in the middle of Utah, I did run it out of gas.
That's fantastic.
So that was our first good band van that didn't it didn't drop the transmission from pulling a U-Haul. And I think our first trailer that we owned, we bought a horse trailer because it was $200, and one of our roommates could weld. So you imagine a horse trailer is heavier than a Utah, and we welded shut every window on this thing so people wouldn't steal our gear or so rain wouldn't go in there. So that thing weighed more than the 1981 Ford Econoline.
Yeah. We did the same thing. We bought obviously we all had our cars that we did earlier on. The ones that I remember is Al Brown had a Datsun pickup.
Nice.
And so we would put 3 in the cab, and then one of us would lie down in the back. I went to many a show like that. I went and saw Plank Eye.
In the back of the pickup.
Yeah, I went and saw Plank Eye and 7 Day Jesus laying in the back of the pickup. It was a 35-minute drive in freezing rain. Got to the show, like went crazy at the show. Like I'm embarrassed to say this, but like mosh pit. Mind you, at Plank Eye and 7 Day Jesus. So when it was done, I was dripping with sweat, had to get back in the back of the truck and then ride home in freezing rain with sweat freezing, all that stuff. That was crazy. Bo, our bass player, had a Jeep, like a Jeep Wrangler, and we would like take all the doors off of that thing and take the roof off and like roll around town in that. That was fun. And then finally, Al got rid of his Datsun and he bought a work van. Well, the work van was it had no windows. It was just like the work,
like a cargo van.
Exactly.
Nothing in the back.
Correct.
Yeah.
Nothing. And then right where the exhaust was a giant rusted out hole in the floor.
Oh my gosh.
So we would all get in the back. And we would, one of the first places we went is Michigan used to have this festival called the Michigan Mosh Fest.
Oh yeah.
It was put on by this awesome couple, and they were like so like hippie and granola and stuff like that, but they were so nice and so rad. And they put on Michigan Mosh Fest, and it was just all metal bands. I mean, it's exactly what it was. It was just metal, grindcore, deathcore, and then us, because we were getting bigger, and they were like, well, these guys have a draw, so they invited us. We were the only ska band at this thing. So we loaded up in this cargo van, and it was in like Muskegon, I think, which is on the west side of Michigan. And we threw like sleeping bags and mattresses and stuff in the back of this van, and we're driving, and we could like see the like exhaust coming back up through the floor. And like whoever was like sleeping over there, obviously they had to put their feet by the hole or they wouldn't have survived the night. And the exhaust is just coming back in. So we have windows.
Carbon monoxide poisoning.
Absolutely.
Everyone.
It was awful. We felt sick. We had headaches. It was bad. So that van lasted us a little bit, and then it was like, okay, this is going to be Al's work truck. We're not using this anymore. And then finally we bought like the same thing, like the Ford Econolodge. It's like the van that everyone's uncle had growing up. It was like the Uncle Rico van. You know, it had the kind of pink, the pinkish maroonish inside, you know, driver's seat, passenger seat. Then there were two
Yes.
captain's chairs.
Yes.
Then there was the bench in the back that laid down. So it either turned into a bed, or if you kept it up as the bench, there was the bench. And then on the other side of it, there was like a day bed.
Uh-huh.
So that's what we rolled in. I remember my mom co-signed it.
Oh my gosh.
We were like, dude, we need a thing. And my mom was always like, if I was like, Mom, I'm shaving my head, she was like, awesome. If I was like, Mom, I'm dyeing my hair blue, she was like, she's like, oh, it's gonna be so cool, you know. And then
My son's gonna impregnate some young lady in here.
yeah, exactly. Oh, I can't wait for one of my grandchildren to be born in this shaggin' wagon. Yeah, it was awful. It had curtains. I mean, it had everything, the carpeting, everything. And so mom co-signs on it. We get it. And man, that sucker lasted us. That was like, we went everywhere in that. It broke down constantly. But here's the crazy thing. It would constantly break down because there was like an O2 sensor that went bad on it. Mm-hmm. And Todd, who nobody listened to in the band. So our first percussionist, Todd, he was just like, bless his heart, like when he was in the Insiders, he was just so kind of, I mean, we were all naive, but he was just naive. And so no one really listened to him. And he's like, guys, this used to happen on my car, and it's an O2 sensor, and everybody's like, whatever. And like Kyle, who's like the genius, the engineering genius, and Al Brown, who was like super smart. They're like, it's not the O2 sensor. They're like, it's the fuel injectors. And so the van that we had, you know how like the old school vans where the engine was kind of between the driver's seat and the passenger seat?
Yeah, and the console came way back to hide it.
Yeah, so
yes,
we had to
feel the heat coming off of it.
Yeah,
yes.
So we had to drive with that heat shield off. So we had to drive with like the engine exposed. That
were there like spinning, moving parts?
Yeah, there were.
This is amazing.
And we used to have to drive with that thing off. And if we stopped and we turned the car off and we turned the van off, it wouldn't start again. So that hood thing, we were always taking it off. And then Al and Kyle would wiggle. They would wiggle the fuel injectors. And it would start. It would start. So they thought that they knew better. And so that we would drive to wherever, shut it off, play the show, come back out. It wouldn't start. It wouldn't start. They'd take the hood thing off, like the heat shield thing, and they'd wiggle the fuel injectors and it would kind of start. They'd wiggle them again and it would fire up. So this went on for months because why get it fixed? Why get it fixed? We know what to do.
The solution, of course.
Exactly. You wiggle these two wires, and it would start. So finally, like months down the road, we finally like break down in Georgia. We're in the south of Georgia, almost to the Florida border, or we were coming back from Florida and we were just into Georgia and we broke down.
Yeah.
So the guy's like, so what's wrong? Al and Kyle are trying to explain to this hillbilly guy that, you know how like when you're in the middle of nowhere, it's just some guy in the town is the mechanic, and his house, he doesn't have a shop. It's just his house, and he's got all his tools there, and there's usually about 9 other cars there.
I live in that town.
Yeah, so that's what we did. So we pulled in there, or we had it towed there, whatever it was. And Kyle and Al are trying to explain to him, instead of just saying, yeah, it doesn't turn over, like it doesn't start. They're trying to tell him it's these fuel injectors. And the guy's like, it doesn't even make sense. And
he's like, y'all got a guy in your band named Todd? Listen to that man.
Listen to that angel.
He's an angel, a valedictorian.
You guys ever listen to Angels? Well, you should, because that little boy over there, what he's talking about with an O2 sensor, and that's what it ended up being. It ended up being the O2 sensor and just shut Kyle and Al up. And it was hilarious.
So what do you have to do? Clean it or replace it?
It had to be replaced. And so they were like, so as soon as the guy replaced it, like the van fired up every single time, not an issue.
Yeah.
And so they were like, well, why does it start when we shake these wires? And the guy's like, that has nothing to do with it. I can't tell you why it does that. He's like, it's just... Yeah.
Let's perform this seance over this engine. That's all you've been doing.
That was all we were doing was voodoo, and it was starting. So that was like our van. And here's the thing. Here's what's weird. I'm a great driver. I've had bus licenses. I've been in one accident in my life, and it was like, just like a little nothing. I've always been a great driver. Here's a little bit of insider trivia. They never let me drive.
What?
I've played every single show that the Insiders have ever done, and I have never driven any vehicle to a show.
Is it just like everybody wanted to drive, or they're actively like, no, Joe, rest your sweet voice, Joe. Please don't.
I don't know what it is. There were times where like I wasn't tired and everybody else was. And I was like, guys, I can drive. And someone would be like, just give me a cup of coffee and I'll do it.
Give me a 12-pack of Miller Lite.
Yeah. And I was like, guys, I don't even need coffee. Like, I'm good. I'm good to go. I got my Suicide Machines tape. I'll pop that in. We're good. And people would be like, you know what? I'll just drive with my hand in a bucket of ice and get us to the next. They never let me drive. I'm not a bad driver. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I got to ask them one of these days. We need to
ask them. Let's get Nate on here, and I want to know this story.
Yeah, I have no clue. I never drove the van. I drove the van if we went somewhere and we dropped the trailer and it's like, hey, I got to go to the mall, or then I was able to like take the van. But as far as like we are traveling from this town to this town for a show, never. I was never allowed to drive the van.
So early on in 5 Iron, we kind of just established this driving pecking order. Did you guys had 8 people at your highest amount? You had Johnny. So
I'm trying to think. At our highest amount in the van, we had rhythm section, so that's 3, horn section to me 6. Then we had a road manager 7.
Yeah.
I think maybe in there, we took out a 3rd horn player.
Yeah, you had like a trumpet, flugelhorn, and trombone at one time, I remember.
Yeah, the French horn. We had a tuba.
French horn.
A guy, and then he had cymbals between his knees, and he'd bang them. and then he had an old Model T horn on his shoulder, and he'd bang his head against it.
Sometimes he'd break out yodeling. You never know what a show is going to be like.
But I think it was I think it was an 8-passenger van, and I think at some point we had like 8 or 9 people in it.
Okay, so we had, I think at the most, it would be 8 of us, and then a wife would come or a person to do merch, just 9, because it's already way too many people. But we kind of established a pecking order. I wish everybody could have driven in the band, because there were times when you're just so sick of driving. But like, Keith did not have his driver's license until he was 26. This is Keith. Like it was just a matter of pride for him to go against what normal people did.
Sure.
So he waited 10 years past his 16th birthday to get a driver's license. So Keith was out. He couldn't drive. Brad lost his license because his dad had some sort of souped up, what was that off-brand Chevy type thing. They had Geos, and what did he have?
Oh, yeah. A Geo. Like a Geo Tracker?
Yeah, no. It was Geo. Geo was the brand.
Geo was the brand, yeah.
Did they make a
like a
version
Korean
that
car or
became
something.
like the Dodge, some Dodge? It got absorbed into Dodge, and
Like
it was
a
like their
Neon?
fast car. Yeah, but it was their fast car before they came out with like the Viper, maybe a Stealth.
Oh, maybe.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
His
I'm not a
dad got
car
one.
guy.
He got so many tickets in like a month that he lost his license. So Brad is out. Keith's out. Leonore kept having accidents and was sketchy enough driving her car that we pulled what your band did to you. We just be like, why don't you
Like,
let
you
us
just-
drive?
You just concentrate on answering that fan mail.
Yeah, and so I've heard a couple interviews where she's like, and the guys never let me do anything. Well, this is one thing, and it had nothing to do with her being female. We are an equal opportunity employer at Five Iron Frenzy, and this had to do with us being terrified. She kept having wrecks, and then and Andy at the time when we started, he was working with his dad as a bricklayer and was basically narcoleptic. He would go and work bricks all day, come home, literally, almost every night, fall asleep halfway in the door, like his feet hanging outside of the house. He made it home. God knows how many times he dozed off driving home, but
Oh
would
my
open
gosh.
the door, put down his pail, like his lunch pail, and crap out, like just fall the frick
Oh
to
my-
sleep.
That's a day's work.
Sometimes he would make it into the house, but not to his room. He would fall asleep face down
Oh my gosh.
all the time. So we were like, Andy is not driving the van at all. He and
After
I
he
went through
builds a
this
wall.
spiritual awakening, and I was like, yeah, man, I live with these Campus Crusade guys. When I went to the University of Northern Colorado, one thing that really helped me was I would get up with a couple of guys, get up before school, and we just pray. We had like a dry erase board, and we prayed for people. We'd write, we're doing this. Andy was on it. He and I were like, let's do this. We're going to wake up and pray. And almost every time he would fall asleep while talking, while he was talking. And I would just sit there, like just stifling my laughter, like, did he just ask the Lord to save the people from the wall of the worms? He did. He's still going. Now he's out. He's done. And then I just pray by myself, and he'd like snap up and like, Jesus, please do this. So Andy was off the list, not able to drive. And
Wow. You
yeah.
guys were almost looking for reasons to not have people drive.
No, it was like, because you want to be able to go to sleep. I am not a good driver. I'm pretty aggressive as a driver, and I have trouble paying attention. I have some undiagnosed adult ADHD. And so it is like, it takes an actual, like just me to talk myself into, you must focus on what you're doing because you scare other people with your driving. And these people want to sleep, and they're going to be terrified, and they don't want to die. So I did that enough that they let me drive. Scott drove. Scott's good. Micah, great. Like Micah, he pays attention more than anybody I know to drive. And Dennis and me, everybody else was out. But there's always been in 5 or 4 people. Andy later came in. He was able to drive. But then Sonny, I don't think ever drove. He was just like, I didn't do that in my old band. I'm not doing it. This is Sonny. Like he's so funny because he will, if he is not like, if you're not like Sonny, we're all doing this. You just see him like sneaking out of the back of the bench. I'm not doing this. You
Yeah.
guys get to do this.
the guys in the band that drove the most for us were definitely Al Brown and definitely Kyle. Like those, Kyle probably drove the most because Al was kind of in and out of the band. But Kyle drove the most until we hired a driver. But when it was all of us, Kyle drove the most. Like Nate would drive, Bo would drive. And then again, I never had to drive. Todd drove one time. So one time we're driving from Michigan. It was the first time we were headed out to LA to record our Motor City Ska album. We're driving. Todd decides to get behind the wheel. I'm sleeping in that little day bed behind the bench.
Yeah.
And
it's called the bone-in balcony.
Yeah, exactly. And it was open for business. And so we're driving, and I can only imagine that it was like that episode or that scene in National Lampoon Vacation where it's like nice music playing and the camera pans from me asleep to like three guys on the bench asleep, someone on the floor asleep, people in both captains' chairs asleep, the person shotguns asleep, and then pans to Todd and Todd's asleep. Like, that's what it was. And all of a sudden, we went from just driving down the highway to, I think, Todd dozed off. And when he opened his eyes, the truck in front of him was at a dead stop. And
my gosh.
He mashed the brakes, about put the brake through the floorboard. So it's, and all of a sudden, all of us are jolted awake. I look out the back window because I'm in that bed. And so I fly up, I look out the window, and I'm not seeing behind me on the highway. I'm actually seeing off the side of the road. So the van was like perpendicular to the road. And not only that, I didn't see the trailer. And so the trailer should have been behind us. So I'm looking out, and within a split second, I'm like, wait a second. I'm not seeing people behind us on the highway. And all of a sudden, whoom, like a pendulum, the trailer goes flying by. And so
was it still attached?
It was still attached, but like we were like fishtailing. And so the trailer was just whipping back and forth like a pendulum, like a metronome. And it's flying from left to right. And we're came to a stop. And like, we're like, Todd, what are you doing? He's like, nothing. We're like, did you fall asleep? He's like, no, I think I'm done driving though. And so right there in the middle of the highway, he puts it in park, gets out. I think like Kyle got, in the driver's seat. Todd, like wherever Kyle was, Todd just got in that seat, like pulled up his jacket, like closed his eyes and was done. Like he didn't want to talk about it. We couldn't make fun of him about it. Like we couldn't tease, like we tried to tease him after that. And he was like, guys, knock it off. Like, I don't want to hear it. Still to this day, he's never answered questions about it. Like if we tried to bring it up, like, did you really fall asleep? He's like, I don't want to talk about it. It was bizarre, dude. It was bizarre.
We had a couple times where people were dozing off and instituted a rule where nobody could drive at night without one other person sitting shotgun, and their job was to keep them awake.
Yeah. We had that too. So
I hated that because you're tired and you're just like, what am I going to do to stay awake? Driving keeps me awake. It's a thing to do. Or I'm just going to sit here and like, hey, what do you want to listen to on the radio?
Right.
Do you want this album now or this album?
Right.
So my idea, and this worked several times, was to sit there and wait. So say Micah is driving in this scenario. You wait, sit there and try and be as quiet as possible. but don't go to sleep because you're vigilant. But you want to make it a comfortable time and wait for this person who's driving safely to start to nod off. Now, mind you, I did this several times. So you would just sit there and wait, and the eyes getting heavy, and then your plan is working, and you're gonna get a couple half hour or so to sleep. This guy's dozing slowly, wait for their eyes to close, and they're like catching themselves, looking over to see if you notice, and you're like, I don't see anything. Waiting. And then wait for them to fully just like close their eyes, grab the wheel so they don't jerk it, and then just scream at the top of your lungs, just, ah! and then they're awake. They're wide awake for a good hour, just pumped full of adrenaline because they're just like, oh, geez, God. And everybody else in the band is also like, what happened? Nothing.
No,
and then
why?
You get to sleep.
Yeah, you get to sleep. They can't because their urine-soaked pants makes it too uncomfortable.
It's a really good strategy for riding shotgun.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are to the point where it's to the end of our free content that we do each and every week. Reese and I are going to continue to talk about touring and all this stuff for our Patreon subscribers. But again, this comes to the end of the paid portion. If you'd like to become a Patreon subscriber, Reese is going to tell you how to do that right now.
I still haven't figured it out. I think you just go to patreon.com and look up the Pickle and Boot Shop. I say that, and then people find us, and they did support us. So we got 3 new Patreon supporters. Technically, they're called patrons, but that sounds too easy. Anyway, this guy's name, Christopher.
Oh.
You know him. Yeah.
I know him as Chris.
Yeah, well, he's on there. Christopher gave us $10, joined at a dill pickle level.
Yeah, that's
David
Chris Williams.
Robledo.
He does a great podcast called Cross Culture Critic that me and him. So me and him do that. That's kind of that's one of my favorite podcasts to do. We only do it a few times a year, but it's fun. So if you guys are just kind of looking for something different, we talk about Christianity through the lens of like pop culture. So things that are going on in movies and music and stuff like that, and kind of relate stuff to it. So it's not as goofy. It's more funny and conversation and thinking type stuff. But I love doing it. And so Chris is from that. Keep going.
All right, that's Christopher. David Robledo, he has sponsored us $5 sweet pickle level.
That sounds fake.
Robledo.
That's some witness protection stuff there.
Probably.
Who names their kid Prevedo?
Robledo.
Right.
Josh McLaughlin is the other one, $5 sweet pickle level. Thanks, you guys, for supporting us.
Yes.
The maniacal brainwashing machine that is the Pickle and Boot Shop. You can reach us on Twitter at capital P, capital B, Oot Shop, or at pickleandbootshop@gmail.com. You can email us. I think I check it once a week, and nobody has emailed us. I got some good ads, though, for some sweet Russian singles.
Ooh. So, and you guys, we really don't know what we're doing. Is like, we can sit here and talk all goofy, but we don't know all the other stuff. So if like Facebook is still relevant as far as like connecting with us, we do have a Facebook page. Mm-hmm. We don't have an Instagram because honestly, if we have a Twitter, I think Reese is like tweeting out pictures and things like that, or we may put on Facebook. If Snapchat is a good medium, or if you guys just have ideas and stuff and stuff that we could do,
if that's a
Tinder,
thing.
Grindr, if you want us to do a Grindr account, we can look into that.
Yeah, it's totally going to be done away once we start up Pickle Finder.
Yeah, Pickle Finder, you guys, it's to find other like-minded supertones. fans, lonely. What are you doing over there? You got flies? You got fruit flies?
I left the window open. There's fruit flies coming in here. My
Dear
dad calls
Lord.
them SEs, which stands for poop eaters.
Oh.
So anyway, hit us up on those things, and if you do listen to us on Spotify, Apple, please like us, subscribe. You can sponsor this train wreck of a podcast on Patreon for less than a cup of coffee a day, which we like to explain as also the price you would pay to feed an entire impoverished village. You can hear extra footage of Joe and Reese telling the same stories over and over again.
Yes.
And there's some extra stuff that we will send your way. Plus, you can level up that $5 level, just get you the extra hour or so. My kids have no respect for my podcasting. They're back there tickling each other and saying, "You farted." Anyway, there's extra bonuses. We have some things. Joe and I will leave a message on your voicemail, on your moist mail.
Moist.
Do you have
Your
on your
mail.
moist mail? Speaking of moist mail, Joe, I mailed you a package today. Anyway, if you need us, if you're celebrating a bar mitzvah, Kwanzaa, or a recent divorce, we can help with that. We can give you a congratulatory message,
Yep.
or even at the top level, perform your very own theme song. And that's yearly. If you do that yearly, you will get the kind of quality songs that you can expect if you've ever heard our theme song at Pickle and Boot Shop.
Yes.
Or if you've heard our ads on other podcasts. We have such star power as Lee Greenwood.
Yep. Who else?
So Matthew McConaughey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guys, also, may I just throw in, I'm a Dove Award winner, so you got that too.
A lot of star power here, guys.
A lot of star power. I mean, it's like bringing a Gatling gun to a knife fight. You know what I mean? A Dove Award winner.
Dove. Sounded
Your
like
kids are killing me.
I know. I'm in a soundproof room, and the reason is because one came in here looking for something and left the door open.
That's funny. It sounds great, though. There's nothing better than listening to your kids laugh.
Nothing better. Nothing better.
So anyway, you guys, that is how you get your hands on the second part. So we're going to be cutting this now. You guys enjoy your time. Reese and I are going to keep going as far as talking touring and stuff like that for the Patreon.
And I forgot to say thanks to our interns, Nat Allergy and Brandon Ebel.
Yes.
Dante,
Yep.
thank you. And here's where you can cut it off. See you later, guys.